Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikon here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Fallout 76. Now, for those of you that are not aware, I've been following this game pretty much since the official unveiling because I've been pretty excited about it. I thought the list of features that they were going to have for this game looked like something I could get into, and to the point that I even played through the entirety of Fallout 4 in preparation for this particular game. Now, a couple of months ago, I was taken aback. I even made a video about it because essentially Bethesda announced that the beta was going to essentially be an early access because they weren't planning on wiping the progression that players would make during the beta, which is something that I completely disagree with because betas are supposed to be, you know, periods where you're going to be testing the game, you're going to be testing the bugs and all of that stuff. And as we can see from this particular article that I found today on Eurogamer, there's actually quite a bit of bugs to this particular game. And right now, my concern is not just the fact that players that pre-ordered are going to be on an uneven playing field with players that start day one, because the players that pre-ordered will have played a bunch more hours than players that will come in upon release, but also the fact that the players that pre-ordered have had all this time to actually make use of these glitches in the game to illegitimately, you know, gain progression and gain currency and gain materials. So pretty much when the game begins, considering that this game does have a bit of a PvP component to it, even if it is optional, essentially you're not really going to have a level playing field, which is something that I'm personally extremely concerned about. But then again, there's also the matchmaking and all that stuff that we haven't really taken into account. Assuming that the matchmaking is proper, hopefully it will mitigate some of these issues, but nothing excuses what is being talked about here. So let's get started. Fallout 76 PC version hacking concerns acknowledged by Bethesda pledges to fix issues. It's the latest in a long line of complaints about Fallout 76's jankiness, but following a Reddit post claiming the beta can be hacked on PC, Bethesda has now admitted some of the accusations are valid and require fixes to prevent cheating. The trouble began when Reddit user The Teeth Are Just Done posted an extensive list of potential issues with Fallout 76 on the Fallout 76 subreddit. Let's take a look at these issues, shall we? Get ready for endless fun on PC. Welcome to 5 reasons not to use an engine that you made entirely open and provided all the tools needed to mod that engine in an online game. Oh, and how to entirely not secure anything for your users. I'm as much a Fallout and Bethesda fan as anyone else. I've sunk about 4,000 hours into Fallout 4, and I've been making mods for about 2 years. So when I got into the PC beta, it allowed me to download the client files, and I started playing with them. Number 1, there are no server checks to verify models or file integrity. What? Want to make trees smaller or player models bright colors to see them easier? Go right ahead. Here are the tools to do it. Apparently, you can just use the Fallout 4 tools to make these changes to Fallout 76, which is, you know, it's a pretty big problem, especially considering that if the checks are being made client-side instead of server-side, it means that you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want, as this guy is claiming here. Now, I didn't test this myself, but if Eurogamer has reported on it, Eurogamer has been pretty reliable in the past, so I'm going to go ahead and take their word for it for now. Terrain and invisible walls collision is client-side. Want to walk through walls? Open up that beautiful ESM file and edit it. The server doesn't care or check. Want to save money on server hardware and make ping a little bit more manageable? Go ahead and open up client-to-client communication, but don't encrypt it or obfuscate it in any way. Open up Wireshark whilst playing. Nab anyone's IP you want. Now that sounds like a bit of a problematic situation. Send packets to the server to auto-use consumables, all very nicely and in plain text. Even get health info and player location. Why waste time injecting the executable and getting nabbed by anti-cheat when you can get all the info from the network? Want to grief people and be a god? Go ahead and keep looping the packet captured in Wireshark reporting you have full HP. Why would the server care about something as little and not game-breaking like this? It's a great idea to let the client tell the server its state and the server not check anything it's being told. The possibilities with this are endless and probably able to just give yourself items by telling the server you picked it up. Number 5, someone in your game being mean. Again, have Wireshark. Let's forge a packet with the disconnect command in it and knock them offline. In conclusion, Bethesda should not have made Fallout 76 by throwing mods on it from Nexus and sold it as a new game. Wow. That's a bold claim. I don't think this is what happened. That's a little bit of an exaggeration there. And again, I don't know if all of these things are possible, but apparently Bethesda is acknowledging that some of them are valid and some of them require fixes to prevent cheating. Not all of them, though. So here's what they have to say to Eurogamer. Many of the claims in the thread are either inaccurate or based on incorrect assumptions. The community has, however, called to attention several issues that our teams are already actively tracking and planning to roll out fixes for. Bethesda spokesperson told us via email. Our goal is always to deliver a great experience for all players. Cheating or hacking will not be tolerated. We know our fan base is passionate about modding and customizing their experience in our worlds, and it's something we intend to support down the road. Looks like you're supporting it a little bit earlier than down the road, I would say. Eurogamer also asked Bethesda for clarification on which claims are inaccurate, but it seems this statement is all we have to go on for now. This lockpick mod shows players a sweet spot so they don't waste bobby pins. It's not a major cheat, but it still offers an unfair advantage. You can see that basically there's the sweet spot right there to open that lock. But this just kind of shows you. Apparently this is a mod that you can download. I believe this is also claimed on this thing right here. To those crying lies and wanting proof, here you go. First cheat mod uploaded to Nexus. Oh wait, it's just lockpicking. That's a skill locked behind a card skill requirements. However, this just proves several things. No client-side file checks. The majority of mechanics are client-side, and the server just listens to the client. So basically this mod enables this thing to be done without you actually having the proper perk card. Which, assuming that this actually works, which again, I didn't test because I don't really do all that much modding, but assuming this actually works, I mean, what's there to stop me from doing another mod that just says, hey, I have the highest level, what was it called again? The one that increased two-handed damage, which doesn't even matter all that much, I guess. But yeah, what's to stop me from just telling the server, hey, I have maximum weapons crafting, and I can just craft the most badass of weapons at like level 2 or something like that. Because I can also just tell the server that I have all the materials required. I don't know, but according to what this guy is describing on Reddit, that definitely seems to be something that you can do, which kind of sucks. And the other part of this is, before the modding news, players also worked out that, like in Fallout 4, Fallout 76's frame rate and game speed are tied. It's 2018, guys. 2018. Why are we still doing this? Never, ever, 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 ever tie the game speed to the frame rate. Especially if your game is going to come out on PC, because you know that PC players are going to mod it. You know that they have their beefy friggin' rigs running 144 hertz monitors, which will just get well above 100 frames per second on their hardware, and you know the shit's gonna break. I mean, I get it, it's a funny thing, break it early test access, ha ha ha, but seriously, it's not break it early access, it's just early access. People have access to the game, and you said it yourself that most likely you won't be wiping out the progress, so people have already made progress using all of these bugs. I mean, and there you go. That was the main thing that when they announced that they were not wiping the beta, that was the main thing that really upset me, really annoyed me. And essentially, I mean, today is, actually, I don't even know what day is today, because sleep is not my forte. Today is 6th of November, dude. This game is less than 10 days away. There's no way. There's no way you're fixing all of this. There's no way. Because if you could have fixed it by now, you would have fixed it by now. The game is as close to final as it gets. And if it's not, then I think you might just have an even bigger problem. Either way, this is extremely disappointing to say the least. Recently, I also made a post up on YouTube where I asked people what platform they were going to be playing the game on, and that also was extremely disappointing. So I gave you 3 options, Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and then a 4th option just in case you're not planning on playing it, which was Toaster. And yeah, 66% out of 2.8 thousand votes voted that they're not even going to give this game a shot. Which I understand, because ultimately Fallout has always been a single player romp type of game where players get to, you know, experience being really overpowered and just doing everything that they want. It's just a big sandbox. And I gotta say, I've had some fun in the beta, but ultimately, considering that the target audience of a Fallout game, I mean, arguably Bethesda are trying to go for a different audience than the one that they've already have, which in and of itself is a little bit disappointing, because it's almost like you're leaving a large chunk of your fans behind, as someone that has recently gone through that particular experience with another game that is extremely disappointing. But it's like, to top it off, for those people that are still like really into Fallout lore, is like, I personally found it extremely, you know, the main quest lines and stuff, I found those to be very disappointing. Like, I had the most fun when I just completely ignored the main quest line and just went off, did my own thing, like started surviving, started building camps, started doing crazy shit, just experimenting with the sandbox systems. That's when I had the most fun with that game. Following the main quest line is like I said in my previous video, it just feels like you're following in the footsteps of dead people for no real reason. So, I don't know. I'm very curious to know how you guys feel about all of this. I mean, if this particular poll is any indication, the way you feel about this is just like, you just don't even care anymore. You've already moved on. But, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like I needed to report on this, because, again, it is a game that I am excited for, but that excitement is dwindling by the day. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really want to bring guys more positive content, but it's just, it seems that the games that I'm interested in lately have just been a little bit disappointing, and I apologize for that, but this is what's happening. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, bell notifications, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.